Hi, I'm Catherine McCarthy, author of the collection Mists and Megaliths. I'm going to read you a short extract from one of the stories, but first I'd like to give you a bit of background. The extract you're about to see was filmed on location at Llangrannog Beach, West Wales, the exact place where the story is set. My husband used video editing and animating software to turn the footage into a film. The title of the story is Cragen, Welsh for shell, and the story is about a child who has an imaginary friend made of shells. As with some of the other stories in the collection, a flash fiction version was published by Flametree Press in 2020. The extract is from the latter part of the story, as things are coming to a head. Lily has grown into a troubled 11-year-old, plagued by the presence of Cragen, who refuses to share her attention or allow her any other friends. Father and child are at the beach, the only place where Lily feels any sense of peace. Her father tries to get her to open up about what's been worrying her, but she is reluctant to confide in him. I hope you enjoy the extract. Hey Lil, want to tell me what's been bothering you of late? Her body stiffened and her mouth twitched. She didn't answer. I tried again. You know, Lil, all your mum and I want is to help you. We've been so worried about you lately. She flipped onto her tummy so she didn't have to look at me, and when she spoke, her voice caught. I'm scared, Dad, she said. My stomach churned. What was she hiding from us? Scared of what, Lil? I asked, almost afraid of the answer. There was a moment's silence before she spoke, and when she did, her voice was a trembling whisper. Of her, she said, and the scent of seaweed and ocean brine filled my head. That was all I could get out of her. She'd say no more. The best I could do was offer reassurance that I'd always be there for her, that whoever she was afraid of could never harm her while I was around, and that when she was good and ready, she could confide in me. You know, in such situations you speak a load of shit because you're afraid for yourself too. You're hurting because the person you love more than anything in the world is suffering, and you're afraid to face it. If I could travel back to that day at the beach, to that moment, I would make her tell me, by force if necessary, because never again would I have the opportunity to make it better. What I did instead was a cop-out. Shall I get us that ice cream? I said, swiping the sand from my feet and donning my sandals. It was obvious her mood had changed. Instead of helping, I'd succeeded in reminding her of her troubles. She nodded. I'll be back in a jiffy, I said, retrieving my wallet from the backpack. And that was the last time I saw her. Almost. Squinting into the sun and armed with 2 ice creams, chocolate for her and vanilla for me, it's crazy the details you remember when life hangs by a thread. The first thing I noticed was the vacant towel. I remember my stomach churning. I knew something was wrong. And then I looked towards the shoreline. There was Lily, wading out to sea, already knee-deep. And she wasn't alone. I ran towards her, holding the ice creams at arm's length so as not to drop them. Who was she with? Shielding my eyes from the sun, I peered at 2 silhouettes. Whoever it was looked to be of similar height. Had Lily made a new friend while I'd been at the ice cream parlour? Ridiculous. I'd not been gone more than 10 minutes. Perhaps someone from school had turned up, but deep down I knew something was wrong, very wrong. They held hands, Lily on the left and the girl on the right. By now they were waist deep The tips of Lily's long curls touched the surface of the sea, and the water stole its gold. Her bright red bathing suit soaked to a bloody stain. "Lily!" I screamed, but the wind and waves swallowed my voice. Dropping the ice creams, I waded deeper, all the time calling her name. Then the other girl turned to face me, grinning. Strands of seaweed for hair, glinting black pebbles for eyes, and an exoskeleton of shell where should have been skin. Cragen. The creature opened her mouth as if to speak, and out scuttled a devil crab. It sidled down her scrawny neck and onto her shoulder, from where its red eyes feasted on my distress. You'll have to read the full story to find out what happens, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.